board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Middlebrook. Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Evans. Alderman Page. Alderwoman Negracia. Alderman Coder. Alderwoman Rice. Alderman Gunther. Alderman Balmer. Alderman Stevens. Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderwoman Howard. Alderwoman Green. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Peel. Alderman Todd. Alderwoman Davis. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Boyd. Alderman Vaccaro. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Cohn. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Grass. President Reed.
Here. Hey, good morning.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Middlebrook. Alderman Bosley. Alderman Coder. Alderwoman Howard. Alderwoman Peel. Alderwoman Davis. Alderwoman Spencer. 21 present. You have quorum.
Quorum being present, we are blessed today to be led in prayer by our very own John Watson Jr. of Maple Temple.
God bless you, those that would join us in prayer. I'd like to quote from the Holy Scriptures. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Gracious God, Heavenly Father, we're grateful today for the progress we made as a city. As we stand here in this quiet moment of prayer, as we undertake the serious duties that confront us and seeking to carry the responsibilities committed to our care, we look from the visible to the invisible, from the temporal to the eternal. And in so doing, we gain courage for the task before us. In your presence, allow us to receive the resources which makes us suitable for our assignments. Give us steadfast devotion for what's right. Keep us dedicated to the purpose of serving all the citizens of this great city. And may we know that your truth is eternal, and be determined to walk with you and work for you in building a community where righteousness, peace prevail forever. Into your arms we commit ourselves, our community, our city. Amen.
Join me in a round of applause for Reverend John Watson Jr. Thank you so much, Reverend. And a number of aldermen have approached me about everyone adhering to the masking protocols when you're on the floor. So please adhere to those. Especially if you're moving around the chambers, if you're approaching, one of your colleagues, and those sorts of things. All right. We will dispense with line item 3, introduction of honor guests. Any introduction of Alderman from the 23rd?
As always, I'd like to have my good friend Greg Meyer, who's up there in the upper place up there, and Dave Sweeney, who's hanging out with them.
Alderman from 26. Try it again. We are having.
Testing. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Yeah, I know how excited I get about things like this. So I have a list of honor guests. Y'all can have a seat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Today I'm excited because I just want to have as my honor guests all the 2022 graduates, starting with my niece, Aunt Ajane, who graduated on Wednesday, my niece Ajane, who's graduating this evening, my son Jabari Hubbard, who is graduating this evening from high school. Yes, so his father Rodney and his mother Torsha and myself, we love you, Jabari. We are so excited for you. If the Honorable License Collector Mavis Thompson is watching, sis, that beautiful baby boy you delivered 18 years ago is graduating from high school today. So again, shout out to all the graduates, 2022 graduates from kindergarten to college. The best is yet to come. And another thing I wanted to say was shout out to my sister Kelly McGowan up in the galley with Evolve that does a lot of great work. If you are not familiar with her, connect with her while she's here because she does a lot with making sure that we get good factual information out on the ground. Thank you for all the work you do with Evolve. And lastly, it was put on my heart to say, as an honor guest, we need to have the spirit of a lot of our elders, some of us that are down here proudly serving under the spirit of our elders. And I would like to shout and honor the spirit of C.B. Broussard, who was the first Black alderman in the 26th Ward in the city of St. Louis. And in his death, he said he wanted everything he had and his money and anything donated given to the homeless. So that shows that there's an ongoing issue that we are dealing with. I know there's a lot of conversation going on, but that is the spirit that I think we should all continue to serve in. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 8th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I would love to have as my special guest today the newest member of my family. His name is Oliver Franklin Rice. He was born May 12th at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's a healthy baby. He's my first nephew. If you want to see baby pictures, I'll show you. I'm really thrilled. Thanks.
Congratulations. Alderman from the 4th.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to My honored guest for today is my nephew, Isaac Evans from New York City. He's graduating from middle school, going into high school. It's been a long journey. Also, I'd like to honor as my honored guest, Julia Allen, who is a prolific advocate for the 4th Ward. I think she's coming home today, but she's been in the hospital, and I just wanted to acknowledge her. Right. And the whole 4th Ward, all the businesses, churches, and everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, good. Alderwoman from 27.
Yes, Mr. President. I want to recognize a young group of people within our community. I got an email from a Deanna Daniels, and what she had said was they are doing a movie over for Pruitt Igoe. And it was interesting because all of the people that are in the movie, when I went to the scene, were from St. Louis. And so I want to recognize these young people. Diana Daniels is the mother, but her children are the one that wrote the play, producing the play, and so they're going to take it to the Sundance, whatever that organization is that present plays. It's a short play, so they can get ready to get funding for a full play.
Excellent.
So I just want to recognize them as my guests. Thank you.
All right, let's give them a big round of applause. Any further introductions? Alderman from the 10th like to wrap us up.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Today's Friday the 13th. Home. Let's go home. Thank you.
All right. Approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes dated May 6, 2022.
Alderman from the 10th, recognized on approval of the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I move to approve the minutes of May 6th, 2022.
Moved by the Alderman from the 10th. Seconded by the Alderman from the 4th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in the aldermen's mailboxes.
We will dispense with line items 7 through 10. First reading of board bills.
Board Bill 26, sponsored by Alderwoman Green, Alderwoman Rice, Alderwoman Ingracia, and Alderman Gunther, an ordinance providing for monies collected under the dwelling unit reduction surcharge pursuant to dwelling unit reduction surcharge ordinance, once approved by ballot, measure to be deposited into the fund created here, the dwelling unit reduction surcharge fund, and expended as set forth herein to be used for programs which advance the creation, preservation, and improvement of affordable housing in the city of St. Louis. Board Bill 27, sponsored by Alderman Cohn, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Airport Commission and the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, amending ordinance number 71288 and the Air Service Initiative Program for fiscal year 2021 through 2023 as adopted by ordinance number 71288, adopting an amended Air Service Initiative Program for fiscal year 2021 through 2024 and providing for amended financial incentives for new airlines or new air service at St. Louis Lambert International Airport containing a severability clause and an emergency clause. Board Bill 28, sponsored by Alderman Cohn, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Airport Commission, the Comptroller, and the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, making findings respecting the transfer of a maximum up to $13,727,769 of excess monies that the St. Louis City, owner and operator of St. Louis Lambert International Airport, intends to transfer from the Debt Service Stabilization Fund to the Airport Revenue Fund during the fiscal year 2022 to mitigate rates on an annual basis during the term of the airport use and lease agreement commencing July 1st, 2016, containing a severability clause and an emergency clause. Board Bill 29, sponsored by Alderwoman Green, Alderwoman Rice, Alderwoman Ingracia, and Alderman Gunther, an ordinance submitting to the qualified voters of the City of St. Louis for the approval of the establishment of a dwelling unit reduction surcharge to address loss of affordable housing through the development and provide a source of funding for the creation and maintenance and improvement of safe and affordable housing in the City of St. Louis in order to enhance preservation and maintenance of the city's cultural and economic diversity. That is the extent of first reading of board bills.
Reference to committee.
To the Neighborhood Development Committee, Board Bills 26 and 29. To Transportation and Commerce, Board Bill 27 and 28. That's the extent of reference to committee.
Second reading.
The following board bill was reported out of Ways and Means with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 10, sponsored by Alderwoman Schweitzer, an ordinance established in the Holly Hill Special Business District pursuant to sections 7.1.709 through 7.1.808 of the revised statutes of Missouri and setting its boundaries, tax rate, initial rate of levy, subject to the approval of the qualified voters, and uses to which tax revenue may be put, creating a board of commissioners, and containing the severability, effectiveness, and emergency clauses. That's the extent of second reading report of standing committees.
Alderman from 13th, you recognize.
Thank you so much, Mr. President and members of the board. I motion to suspend the rules to place Board Bill 10 on the perfection consent calendar.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 13th. It's been moved by the Alderman from 13th, seconded by the Alderman from 27th, and I think it was the Alderman from the 8th. That we suspend the rules for purposes of moving Board Bill number 10 to third reading, perfection consent. Wish you would have had that right. Perfection consent. Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Middlebrook. Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Evans. Alderman Page. Alderwoman Ingracia. Alderman Coder. Alderwoman Rice. Alderman Gunther. Alderman Balmer. Alderman Stevens. Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderwoman Howard. Alderwoman Green. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Peel. Alderman Todd. Alderwoman Davis. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Boyd. Alderman Vaccaro. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Cohn. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Grice. President Reed.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderman Bosley. Alderman Page. Alderman Coder. Alderwoman Howard. Alderwoman Davis. 21 aye votes.
By vote, you stay in the motion. Alderwoman from 13th suspended rules for the purposes of placing Board Bill number 10 on the perfection consent calendar. Madam Clerk, please place Board Bill 10 at the end of the perfection consent calendar.
So noted.
We'll dispense with line item 14, perfection consent.
Board Bill 5, sponsored by Alderwoman Boyd, an ordinance of repealing Ordinance 69864 and prohibiting the issuance of any package or drink liquor licenses for any currently non-licensed premises within the boundaries of the 27th Ward Liquor Control District as established herein for a period of 3 years from the effective date thereof and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 10, sponsored by Alderwoman Schweitzer, an ordinance establishing the Holly Hill Special Business District pursuant to Section 71.790 through 71.808 of the Revised Statutes of Missouri and setting its boundaries, tax rate, initial rate of levy, subject to the approval of the qualified voters, and uses to which tax revenue may be put, creating Board of Commissioners, and contain the severability clause, effectiveness, and an emergency clauses. That's the extent of perfection consent calendar.
Alderman from the 10th, you recognize on the motion for the perfection consent calendar.
Thank you. Hello, hello. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move that we adopt the perfection consent calendar.
Moved by the Alderman from 10th, seconded by the Alderman from 25th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, at the request of the sponsor, please place Board Bill number 14 on the perfection and formal calendar.
So noted.
Board bills for perfection.
We have none.
Third reading consent.
We have none.
Third reading report of engrossments.
We have none.
Alderman from the 10th, you recognize, actually, Alderman from the 22nd, you recognize on the motion for the courtesy resolutions calendar.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move for adoption of the courtesy resolution calendar.
Moved by the Alderman from the 22nd, seconded by the Alderman from the 25th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will dispense with line item 20. Second reading of resolutions.
Resolution 17, sponsored by Alderwoman Schweitzer, intentions to establish the Holly Hill Special Business District.
Alderwoman from 13th, you recognize on the second reading resolution number 17.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I motion to approve Resolution 17.
It's been moved by the Alderman from 13th, seconded by the Alderman from 25th, that we adopt Resolution 17. Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 25, sponsored by Alderwoman Boyd, Alderman Stevens, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Ingracia, Alderman Gunther, Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderwoman Rice, Alderman Todd, and Alderwoman Peel. Support of the Medicare for All Act of 2021.
Alderwoman from the 27th, you recognize on the second reading of resolution number 25.
Yes, Mr. President. I ask for approval of Resolution 25.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 27th, seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd. that we adopt Resolution 25. Any discussion? You have discussion? Oh, okay. Alderman from the 24th. Sometimes, with it being so hot in here, sometimes I don't know if people getting back by the doors to cool off or whatever.
Totally understood, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I would move that we make this resolution in bank, please.
All right. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 24th that we make Resolution 25 in bank. It's been seconded by the Alderman from the 25th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Append Resolution 25 in bank.
So noted.
And that's only for the aldermen that are present today, and you can ask others. It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 27th that we adopt Resolution 25, which has been amended in bank. Any further discussion? 27th, that we do 25. Yeah, you had a question?
Sorry, Mr. President, I think I just heard you say that when we motioned to bank that it's only applicable to the people who are present.
Yes, because when we're in banking, it's for people who are here. If you're an alderman person who isn't here, you don't get to express your opinion on whether you want to be added or not. And the clerk will reach out to them to see if they would, want to be added in this case.
Okay, I'm not sure that that's how our rules are applied, but
that is how it's applied. You cannot force any sitting alder person to support something that they're not supporting. Everybody that's here today has a voice and had an opportunity to weigh in on it.
But I appreciate the clerk taking the extra steps to follow up and have those conversations with the people who aren't present, but I don't believe that's actually in our rules. I'm not going to call to question the decision of the chair in this case either.
You don't have to. You have every right to. You don't have to. Yeah. But every person in here has an opportunity to decide if they want their name added to any piece of legislation.
Right, but they can decide to take it off
if they are absent, and at the end of the meeting we will excuse them for their absence. But if they're absent, you cannot automatically add their name to something where they didn't have an opinion on it. So yeah, it applies to everybody that's here today.
Okay, I'm not going. Okay, I'm glad that the clerk is taking the extra steps to make sure that people are having their voices heard. Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? It's been moved by one from the 27th that we adopt resolution number 25, which has been amended to be in bank. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That is to extend a second reading, resolutions, committee report, and adoption.
Miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
Announcements.
Tuesday, May 17th, 2022, Neighborhood Development will have a meeting at 10 a.m. via webinar. Wednesday, May 18th, 2022, Ways and Means will have a meeting at 9 a.m. via webinar. Thursday, May 19th, Ways and Means will have a meeting at 9 a.m. via webinar. And Friday, May 20th, 2022, full board meeting, 10 a.m. via the chambers. That's the extent of the announcements.
Alderman from the 18th.
Fountain Park, Lewis Place is holding a cleanup blitz this coming Saturday, May the 14th. It starts at 9:30 a.m. and it will end at 12 p.m. You can meet on Euclid and Horne tracks. And also, please clean up in front of your house to the curb and behind your house to the alley. Trash bags will be distributed at Euclid and Horne tracks. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any further? Alderman from the 27th.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. I am honored to invite everyone to the annual 134th year May Day Parade. It is the largest African American parade in St. Louis, in the country. It's the largest African American parade. We look for everybody to come out this year because we have been on COVID, so we haven't been able to do it in person. I'm excited about it. The new CEO is is phenomenal. This young girl is, Keisha Lee is compassionate, and she loves the kids, and so she shows it in everything she does. So if you can't get there, they will pick people up. First Student is willing to pick people up in Natural Bridge and Union to make sure people get down to the parade. So please come out, support Annie Malone, and we look forward to everybody being there. Thank you. Oh, it's Sunday, May the 15th.
Yeah.
My sidekick over here like, what is it?
Yeah.
It's Sunday, May 15th. The parade starts at 1 o'clock. It'll start at Harris Stowe. That's where it kicks off at, and it goes all the way down to, I keep forgetting where it ends up. But they'll be at Keena Center? Keena Plaza, thank you. And so it'll end up at Keena Plaza, and they'll have all the vendors there. They'll have Nike there. Nike is bringing over 300 volunteers to help work with us on this parade. So thank you all very much, and I hope to see you.
All right, thank you. I think the other one from the 15th was next.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I just wanted to announce and invite everyone tomorrow at Keener Plaza, May 14th, starting at 12 p.m. is going to be a St. Louis abortion rights rally. We're hoping for a very large turnout. As many of you know, Missouri is a trigger ban state, so if Roe goes down, like is being anticipated at the end of June, it will have some very severe implications pretty quickly on people seeking reproductive health care in Missouri. So please come out, show your support for protecting Roe tomorrow, Keener Plaza at noon. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Alderman from the 26th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today in the 26th Ward at People's Community Healthcare Centers, right at 5701 Delmore, drive through the parking lot. They're giving away free food, water, PPE, a lot of other resources they do as well. Their theme is always building communities through giving. So again, today from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, if you have someone that you know may have a need, they just pull up, pop their trunk, and they get supplies. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 13th.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, members of the board. Lots of things coming up tomorrow in the 13th ward. At 9 a.m., there's a honeysuckle removal at 9 a.m. in CondellireMore Park. 11 a.m., yay! 11 a.m. Flower planting at Belle Reeve Park, a beautiful park if you've never been, right along the river. And at noon, there will be a Mackland market, so a 5800 block of Mackland, dozens of vendors, food trucks, a really fun time. And thanks for your time.
All right, thank you. Alderwoman from the 4th.
Mr. President and everyone, I'd just like to piggyback off of what Alderwoman Pam Boyd said about the May Day Parade. It's a welcomed activity. Because of COVID, it did not happen. So it happens in my ward, and I am ecstatic to see it take place. And we will be riding in that parade, won't we, Ms. Boyd? All right.
All right. Alderman from the 24th.
Thank you, Mr. President. The alderman from the 7th isn't here, but I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate our St. Louis Blues for moving on to the second round of the playoffs, and wishing them the best and hoping for a long playoff run here. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Alderman from the 25th.
Thank you, Mr. President. We've got a lot of activities in the Dutchtown neighborhood this weekend and this week as well. Just a few that I'll mention. Tomorrow, the neighbors of the 4200 block of Louisiana are having their annual block party. I'm going to try and swing by. I've got a bat mitzvah and a funeral service tomorrow, but it will definitely be one of the highlights of my Saturday, being able to share the afternoon with neighbors. It's, again, 4200 Louisiana. Starts at 5 p.m. Terror Tacos will be there. A bounce house will be there, courtesy of Cure Violence. And they'll be playing the Sandlot on their 25-foot big screen once nightfall comes around. And so always a fun time. There's food, there's drinks, very family-friendly event as well. And would encourage all of my neighbors in Dutchtown and even those of you down here, if you want to join in the fun, you're more than welcome and invited. Also, next week, we've got Reimagine Public Safety Forum that's taking place. It's going to be at the Jean Slay Boys and Girls Club at their Dutchtown location, which is at the 3200 block of Pulaski, right at Pulaski and Compton. So that's May 16th at 6 p.m. And then the mayor is having an ARPA community town hall on the 17th next week, which will be at Merrimack Elementary School, and that starts at 6 p.m. And everyone's invited to attend that as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderwoman from the 8th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Wanted to invite folks out. Food Truck Fridays are back in Tower Grove Park tonight, so come on out and grab some dinner. It's sweltering as it would be in July, but coming out, it'll be a good time. Whitaker Wednesdays are also back at the Missouri Botanical Garden starting June 1st. You do have to reserve tickets this year, but we are back with live music, and it is free to attend. You just need to register with the Botanical Garden ahead of time. And I do want to invite folks, our health department is doing a women's wellness fair on Saturday. So this coming Saturday at from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 1520 Market Building. They have all sorts of health screenings, STD testings. And if you're coming down to the rally and you want to get some health screenings first, we are here for healthcare. So this is the Department of Health is not sponsoring the rally, but it is a good opportunity to tie all of our healthcare needs together. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Any further announcements? Any further announcements? Any further announcements? All right. Alderman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to excuse.
Mr. Ho, thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move to excuse the Alderman from the 1st, 3rd, 7th, 14th, and 19th Ward due to necessary absence.
Moved by the Alderman from 10th, seconded by the Alderman from 22nd. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? No. The motion carries. Alderman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to adjourn.
And thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I move that we adjourn to next Friday, May 20th at 10 a.m.
Moved by the Alderman from the 10th. Are they entertain a second? I entertain a second. Seconded by the Alderman from the 4th and the Alderman from the 25th. I didn't hear any point of all. Unfortunately, the motion to adjourn is a non-debatable motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned. You all have a good, safe weekend.